Hello and welcome back to another video. I am Angst, but you can call me Katie. We are back with Blockade3D, checking out all of their modes and a little bit of an indie, uncommon, unknown game feature. I still don't have a name for it, so it's a long random title. I'll have to come up with something. This is the second mode video. If you did not see the first, we featured Snowballs, which is a limited time playable mode. I'm not sure when that goes away, so if you are watching right now, it might be gone from Steam, especially if we're somewhere in like June. It's probably not there. But if these videos are pretty recent for when you're viewing, I would check it out. Snowballs is a pretty cool mode. But this video isn't about Snowball. This is about the battle mode. So let's dive in. Once again, Blockade3D is Russian made. It's free to play through Steam. I believe this is Windows only. I'm sorry, Apple users. I don't have much sympathy. You can't game on an Apple. I don't want to hear any excuses. You gotta run Windows at least if you're gonna be on an Apple. So, this mode I can explain better from the perspective of somebody who has played previously in other modes. Blockade3D has this amazing mode that I've probably spent 500 hours on. It's called Versus. This is more like a 4-team version of that 2-team game. Now, it's a little bit harder because you've got more colors of people wandering around, and if you play on different teams all the time, you may not know which one's your team at first. Some people forget. But you spawn in, you pick a melee weapon, then you select your primary. I'm quite fond of the MG42, but that's just me. Then you select a secondary. Most people don't ever need their secondary, but it's always nice to have one. Then you grab your extra ammo. This is most of what's offered in the game. Mortars, those are pretty self-explanatory. Then you have rockets. Then you have rockets that shoot 4 different rockets out of it. You can get a couple uses. TNT, mines, C4. You cannot use this mine in the battle mode or the versus mode or several others, but this one right here that I'm circling is made for a tanks mode, hence why you see something about vehicles. However, in this section, while you cannot use this top rocket, you can use the RPG down here. It's kind of a waste to use in anything that isn't the tanks mode. It's a little overpowered and it's kind of rude to do to fellow players. Then you have your grenades. Grenades are pretty awesome. You have your standard grenade, not a very big blast zone. Then you have your secondary type of grenade. This MK3 has a larger blast zone. Both grenades, if you're near a player and it comes in contact within the zone, it will kill them. There is no living through a grenade in this game. Then you have this grenade. This one's a little stronger, it's harder to aim. I don't generally use them at all. I haven't found them to be useful. I may need to try them out on the vehicles kind of mode, but that's another thing to address. Then over here, you have a standard gas. This is white or clear, whatever you prefer to call it. This doesn't impact a player's health. It's just kind of an obnoxious thing to do to decrease their visibility. It's particularly handy if you are perched above somewhere and you throw it down and you can look through the gas at your enemy, because they'll be kind of wandering in circles trying to figure out what direction to go. But it's not very handy. Then you have Molotov cocktail. That's a pretty standard thing for most games with combat, at least older styles of combat. Fire's great. You walk near it, you catch on fire, it hurts you a lot. Unfortunately, it's visible, unlike a grenade. Some people don't always see the grenade coming. You'll see the fire on the ground, and people who have been playing more than one round will completely avoid it. Then you have this gas grenade, and as you can kind of tell, there's a little toxic face on it. It comes out green. Green gas is poisonous. It can kill a player if they stay in it. If they just run through the edge of it really quickly, they'll usually stay alive, and that's awesome. That's not something most games let happen. It either kills you or you can't get out of it because it's too large of an area. But we've gone over these. I will not go over these again in any other mode other than possibly suggesting a weapon that better suits that game version, whatever it happens to be. So you'll probably have to be referred back to this if you forget anything and you see me clicking stuff. I select specific things when I play different modes. I kind of like these things for verses. Sometimes I'll swap back to these if I'm out of the red grenade. C4 is okay. It can get in the way. Mines I only use on maps that I'm incredibly familiar with. These are all pretty standard. You can take your pick. But it's very clear what a rocket is for when you're too lazy to aim. Self-explanatory. You just kind of fire at will. So you spawn in with your team. Now I have a gun with a relatively good zoom, so generally rely on that. And that helps me get people. Now in this mode, like I said, it's 4 teams. There are a few players per team. Ooh, I fell into a hole. That's not good. Your goal is to spend the most time in a center area. There's a little box in the middle here. Those lines right there indicate where that box starts. Now if you run into it, over on the top right of my screen, you'll see that there are some numbers next to colored squares. Those colored squares indicate the amount of time, well, the thing next to the colored squares indicates the amount of time that a team has been inside the box. As you can see, blue was just going up because I was in the box. Now, people will shoot you to keep you from staying in there. Obviously. Why else would the box be there? I cannot tell you how many seconds it takes in the box for your team to win, but these are usually a very long type of map. I like them because it's a little bit more of a challenge trying to stay inside here. I can totally tell somebody walked by right there and he's just not coming. I'm hoping that people start walking by. Oh no! Okay, as you saw where that landed, I was too close. I thought I was safe, but I may have been within the edge of the last couple squares. But that happens. Now if we could get back in here, it could probably be kind of tricky. This guy should pop out. And I have to reload, or I'll die. Well, I won't die if I don't reload. That's not quite right. That's just the consequence of not paying attention and being able to protect yourself. That number in the center of your screen is the amount of kills you've racked up per life. You can also see your amount of kills on the tab. You can also tell how many kills every other player has. Now, I'm the one in the blue on the American side. I'm the only American in this entire map, and that's not uncommon, so don't be afraid if you're from America, Australia, England, Canada. It's very rare at the time that I'm recording. This is about 3 in the morning, Mountain Standard. It's very hard to find another person who plays in an English-speaking country or somebody who actually speaks okay English. There's generally a lot of Russians, a lot of French, and that's just how it is. You can usually find people in your time zone at a good time to play. Somewhere, I would say between 5 and 11 p.m. for wherever you are, you should find a lot of people in your time zone, especially on weekends. That's a great time to be on. Now, this mode does take a long time, and while I would love to be able to record long enough, I don't think YouTube would be happy with me. So I think after this next life, or maybe the one after that, we'll wrap it up. Because while I love games like this, where it can just go on, and you really get a great understanding of what there is to do, and you get some nice tactics. They can be very time consuming, and sometimes you don't always get to stay on and play the whole time. Now, I want to get back in the box. What's in the box? I'm in the box! Oh, wait. Oh, I'm getting shot at. Now, as you can see down on the bottom, I am missing some health. You do have health packs. They're not permanent. They come a few per level. I think it's 50 or so, sometimes 100 per level. You can buy more. I don't see the point in purchasing... That's my own teammate. I don't see the whole point in purchasing health packs. I kind of like playing the right way. I want to give people a kill when they've killed me. I think that's how a game should be played. Now, these guys don't seem to be paying much attention to the fact that I'm in here. But now that I've said that, I'm seeing more of them wandering around in circles. Oh gosh, that guy scared me. That'll happen too, because some places are very protected and hard to see into from the outside. Somebody will just jump in and be right there. I thought that guy was glitching, that's why I shot him. I was just shooting to shoot. Now, I want to be a sneaky butt. And I want to go over near their spawn. Whoa! Guy just jumped out of that window. That was scary. I want to just chill here. There's also a chat that goes on in the bottom left on, I believe, every mode. I don't think I've seen it missing on anything. You can press whatever key you have set. I don't think you can remap keys, but if you have some kind of macro, you can use that. Mine is set for enter. As you can see, that popped up. There's also a team chat. You press T for that, and enter to post. That's how I have it set. I don't think I've remapped anything. I do, however, have a gaming mouse that's mapped, because I don't like using my keys. There's that poison gas we mentioned earlier. I don't want to walk through it, but I'll show you what happens when you go through. You start getting those little owies and you lose health on the bottom there. I might actually die from this. Yeah, I died from it. Yeah, somebody lower level threw that gas, but there's not a whole much else. I don't English very well. There's not a whole lot else that I can show you guys in this mode. It takes a long time to play through, and as you can see, these teams are basically full. There's one spot on the yellow team. There'll probably be one here and there that shows up, but it's generally full when it's like this. Not many people want to join if there's less than 3 spots. So, I'm going to say that that's it for this episode. Like, comment, and share as you please. And, well, I will see you in the next video. Okay? Bye!